What's up everyone, and welcome back to the Bold and the Beautiful 24 official channel. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button today. Let's get started. Is it true that Liam's back alley brain surgery changed his personality? The Bold and the Beautiful reveals that Liam Spencer is recuperating from a chest shot and the removal of a fictitious brain tumor. None of this makes sense when he is recuperating at Bill Spencer's house. So, why not give Liam a new persona to add to the soap opera and bizarreness of this story? Liam underwent a very recent surgery, regardless of whether Grace Buckingham performed actual or experimental brain surgery. No matter who he wakes up as, he is in no condition to be at home. Bill Spencer retakes control. Grace pretended to perform cutting-edge surgery, or did she actually perform it? We anticipate that her treatment of Liam could result in significant changes to his mental apparatus because she is as shady as an old oak tree. Despite the fact that Liam had nothing wrong in the first place, Bill is under the impression that the money he gives him will cure him. Grace made it clear that she probably saved Liam's life when she said that he might be unconscious for a while. What a convenience! Will Liam be a different man when he wakes up? When they learned about Liam, Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester were outraged. Will he remain the same person they remember as their daughter's father? Or will Grace's chopstick surgery hurt Liam in any way? Have you ever considered how odd it is that Brutal Bill has 3 sons who are as sweet as apples? What caused that to occur? There is no doubt that one or more of them possesses Bill's genetic material. Perhaps Liam's luck has conspired to turn him into a chip on the old stallion's shoulder. Recovery from Liam Spencer's brain surgery. Do you want Liam to turn sinister and ruthless, BNB fans? Wouldn't being Bill's son be more in line with that? We believe it would be a dynamic and intriguing plot twist. At this point, this is just speculation, but if Liam did something shady, we could see him acting like Bill and not taking no for an answer. He might have made the decision to sabotage Carter Walton and get Hope back. Or, if he wants Steffy, he could divorce her and Finn Finnegan's beautiful family. Please tell us what you anticipate seeing from Liam in the coming days. Grace vanishes following Liam's tumor cure, hiding with Luna? The Bold and the Beautiful make fun of the fact that Grace Buckingham is just as shady as her ex-husband, a defrocked doctor. Because of this, she has messed around with Liam Spencer's tumor situation in an effort to make money. Will she receive what is coming her way? Grace's fans want her punished. We predict that she fabricated the story about Liam's fatal brain tumor all along. Why did it happen? If she ever did, her current motivation is avarice. She persuaded Bill Spencer to give millions of dollars to save his son, and he gladly inquired about how much. What other financially stable parent wouldn't? Grace's extensive plan. So, how did Grace, a sweetheart, pull off the century's biggest scam? Because she is a doctor, it would be simple for her to display the scans of another patient, this one with an inoperable brain mass. You agree, but what about Liam's deteriorating condition? We'd point to the harmful drugs she was giving him as the reason for that. Bad doctors occasionally occur. However, do you believe Grace was always Nurse Nightingale, or was she actually more like Reese than anyone ever realized? Grace came up with Liam's tumor. You might be curious about the scalpel used to shave Liam's head. Since we didn't see anything further, we conclude that she nicked him sufficiently to require stitches and is now marketing a miracle cure. At this point, one intriguing question is whether Grace is working with Reese Buckingham. Grace's actions reveal a sense of pressure and possibly guilt on the part of her fans, but she may be forced to do so. If she doesn't carry out this sick plan to fail a healthy patient, what happens if her daughters, Zoe Buckingham and Paris Buckingham, are in danger? Who is in charge of Grace? In the end, Grace's victims keep getting worse. Thank goodness they haven't told the kids yet, because Hope Logan and Steffy Forrester are sick and tired of worrying about Liam's fate. Grace will be compensated for her crimes, Bill assures. However, when he intervened to obtain Luna Nozawa's pardon for her crimes, was that a significant statement? On the other hand, it's possible that Lee feels sorry for Grace and gives her a bed next to Luna's. The Bold and the Beautiful never fails to surprise, and Liam Spencer's brain surgery in a back alley may have increased the show's unpredictability to a new level. Following a series of medical manipulations and under-the-table procedures orchestrated by Grace Buckingham, Liam is now recovering in a highly questionable environment, his father Bill Spencer's mansion. That alone raises red flags for viewers. How is someone recuperating in a house rather than a hospital after undergoing experimental brain surgery? The answer might be as surreal as the procedure itself. The results are already manifesting in unexpected ways, particularly in Liam's personality, regardless of whether Grace actually removed a tumor or merely sold Bill a convincing lie. Is it possible that Liam is no longer the person people remember him to be? Could Grace's intrusion into his surgery, which was probably unnecessary, have awakened something sinister and unfamiliar within him? To understand the full ramifications, we must first look at Grace Buckingham's role. Grace either carried out a medical hoax of historic proportions or an innovative procedure. After Liam was shot, an MRI supposedly showed that he had a tumor that could kill him, but Grace was only told she would get $1 million for her services. Prior to that, all that was mentioned was a serious head injury from the bullet and the swelling that typically follows trauma. There was no mention of a brain tumor. Bill blindly accepted Grace's explanation that Liam might be unresponsive for some time and was thankful his son was alive as viewers watched. However, the reality may be far stranger than anyone anticipated now that Liam is awake. While Bill reclaims control of the situation, he is unaware that his generous behavior may have led to his son's troubling transformation. Bill doesn't notice any subtle shifts in Liam's behavior because he is content just to see him alive. It's beginning to look and sound different from the Liam we know now, a man driven by guilt, love, and frequently indecision. His eyes are sharp and calculated, and his tone has taken on a new edge. Hope Logan and Steffi Forrester, Liam's co-parents and former lovers, begin to notice the shift as well. They are unsure whether it is simply recovery confusion brought on by trauma or something much more substantial. Fans are starting to believe that Liam is currently operating under a darker, more Bill-like influence. For years, viewers have noted the contrast between Bill's cutthroat business acumen and Liam's moral compass. Could Grace's interference have suppressed a portion of Liam's personality and produced characteristics more akin to those of his father? After all, genes don't lie, and it's possible that Liam's ruthlessness, which had been dormant for some time, has now come to light. Liam, who was previously soft-spoken and frequently indecisive, may be evolving into someone who makes calculated decisions with chilling precision. Think about how this would affect the lives of those around him. If Liam loses the sensitivity that once made him who he is, he might make bold, bad decisions that break up relationships that have been going on for a long time. Not out of love, but rather out of ego or possession, he might pursue Hope once more. Worse, because he wants what he can't have, he could target Steffi and attempt to end her marriage to John Finn Finnegan. Although it is indirect, Grace's influence may be the spark that transforms Liam into a more calculating and controlling individual. Grace's sudden disappearance following Liam's so-called cure makes this situation even more alarming. Her disappearance is, to put it mildly, suspicious. She may be hiding with Luna Nozawa, the woman who is said to have died tragically but whose body was never shown on screen, according to some fans. Grace's disgraced ex-husband Reese Buckingham may be the mastermind behind a larger con being orchestrated by Luna and Grace as pawns. Grace's erratic behavior and apparent need for money suggest that she may not be working alone. It's possible that someone has leverage over her when she threatens her daughters, Zoe and Paris Buckingham, if she doesn't comply. Grace may have subjected Liam to experimental drugs or a fraudulent surgical procedure in her desperate attempt to defraud Bill Spencer. Using the images of another patient with a terminal tumor, she probably fabricated MRI scans. The medication Grace gave Liam to make him feel better before surgery may not have been the actual tumor that was causing his physical decline. If so, that is not only unethical but also illegal. And what of the surgery itself? We never saw a proper operating room. All we saw on Liam's head were a few vague stitches. There are no hospital records, second opinions, or post-operative reports. Bill was deceived into thinking a miracle had occurred by Grace's smallest act. That would explain Finn's continued skepticism regarding the legitimacy of the procedure and why Bill is so eager to thank her and throw money at her. Liam may be carrying the emotional and psychological burden of a man who believes he has been given a second chance but whose personality has been altered by trauma, drugs, or something even more sinister now that the tumor is gone. The way he looks off into the distance, the subtle shifts in his speech, and the fact that he doesn't seem as bothered by moral complexities as he used to are all eerie. Could this be the beginning of a darker Liam who is more in line with Spencer's legacy of cruelty and ambition? There are a lot of eyebrows raised, not just by Finn. While Hope and Steffi are glad to see Liam alive, they are having more and more trouble connecting with him. He no longer responds in the same way to their feelings. He seems emotionally distant, as though he is following a script that only he knows. That makes them question everything, including Liam's new behavior and Grace's surgery. Grace's absence, on the other hand, only intensifies the mystery. Her fans want her to be punished. It is likely that she will be pursued by the law as well as enraged family members if she concocted this entire tumor storyline for financial gain. But who will locate her first Bill, who has pledged vengeance for his son's mistreatment? Or Finn, who, in conjunction with Bridget Forrester and a medical investigation, might be able to ascertain the truth? Even if Lee Finnegan were in charge of the hospital and thought Grace's intentions were noble, he or she might protect her. On The Bold and the Beautiful, all of this points to a brisk future. Liam Spencer has transformed. Grace Buckingham is evading capture. Steffi and Hope are anxious. Additionally, Bill Spencer might realize that money cannot fix everything. Every Los Angeles family could be shaken by the effects of this medical manipulation. Another Pandora's box of secrets and betrayal is opened if Grace is indeed hiding with Luna, who is also thought to be dead. They might be working with Reese, faking deaths, or conniving with insurance companies. The possibilities are endless. One thing is certain, everything will undoubtedly be disrupted by Liam's new persona. The Bold and the Beautiful is preparing for one of its most thrilling arcs in years, whether it's a medical side effect, a psychotic break, or Spencer's awakening. So, is it true that Liam's personality changed after he had brain surgery in a back alley? The answer is clearly yes. And the consequences are only beginning.